Hello everybody, this is Neve Navans here, and welcome to another edition of the Hingham Train Show thingy-majiggy. So, here we are back at the Hingham Train Show in Massachusetts. And it's been a little while since we've come here today, or here to Hingham. And so here's Vogel Station, doing as good as it usually does, with a bunch of other trains and things.
Let's go around the other side.
He'll get to you.
Here we go. It's going. Here comes another one. Oh boy, what's on this one?
It's the Metro liner. Look at how cool that is. I want one of these.
Okay, we'll wait and see if something else comes by.
Man, they are really cool.
Over here in this tree, we've got quite a few trains that are not doing anything right now. But I guess that gives us the chance to look at them in closer detail.
This is our yard.
So we have a Southern Pacific train over here.
Did you get a movie of them?
Yeah, and of course there's the Amtrak Metro liner, which looks quite cool. There's the big boy, I think. The big boy. Yeah, I think that's the big boy.
You think so? I think it's a Challenger.
Yeah, either the big boy or the Challenger, one or two. And there's one of those cab forward locomotives. Over here we have a few work in progress things. As you see, they still have a bunch of styrofoam and stuff. And they have track which is riding on bare wood. But
what this was before?
I don't think it was anything. I think now they have this chicken wire here in preparation.
This whole thing is all new.
Yeah, I think in preparation they're probably going to put in some kind of hill or something with some detail. Certainly needs it. But over here we have quite a few things over here. Here we have a hillside. We have a station here, which I'm not sure what the name of it is. I guess we'll call it Hingham Station for today. In fact, this is actually the station where I got the intro to the last video that I did here on Hingham Train Show. Yes, indeed, I did actually do a video on this here before, from a couple years ago. But obviously this one is being filmed rather later, and there's a train in the back there. Oh, that's some old taxi cab of the 1950s. Over here they also have a yard over here with a few trains that are parked not doing anything. Over there is, I believe, the Zephyr, which looks pretty cool. Over here is Gordon in the Express, currently doing nothing. And over here is a East Coast Line train, I think, with some F40 locomotives. I believe those are F40s. Well, different type of F40 with interesting body style. There's New Haven, starting to do guys going very slow. Over here we have the freight trains underneath us. But eventually later in the video we're going to take a look at all the trains as they go by. There's a Bud Metroliner car in New Haven. And I'm not sure what that is over there. I move straight all the way back over here on this side. And over here we have something that's pretty cool. We have an SDP-40F locomotive. Yes, it may look like an F40, but it's actually an SDP-40F, like I just said. And this was actually the first ever locomotive bought for proper use on Amtrak. Yes, indeed, and it was built brand new. You know. And also, what's interesting about this train is that this train is the one with all the mixed coaches and stuff, as I will show in a minute. And over here we have a Southern Pacific train over here. I actually had no idea that they made SDP-40Fs in HO scale, considering how unpopular this locomotive was. You know, it only lasted like 4 or so years in service. However, the cool thing about this train is that this is when Amtrak first started, where they had mixed equipment from mixed railroads, and this is actually realistic how they have different coaches from different railroads on this particular Amtrak train, as these are the days when, you know, Amtrak was brand new. Over here at this end of the yard, we have a few interesting things, such as we have a steam engine, though I'm not sure what that is. Looks like something from foreign. Over here, some more Bud Metroliner cars, painted in, I'm not sure, but something.
They have tractors pulling? Yeah.
Over here we have some interesting things for sale. Have some track, there's an amphibious coach, and some other things. Check this out.
Cool. Oh, that's a beauty, isn't it? Oh, wow, what a nice train that is.
Here's one of my favorite parts on the layouts. This is the yard. Well, up here is the yard, as you can see it goes around in a circle, which I think is pretty cool. And down there is some other tracks. That's where Ruggles is actually. In fact, if we zoom up over here, this is Ruggles Station. As you can see, there's a train about to go by here. Into the tunnel it goes.
Put all this in new here and over there, the switches.
Yep. Over here they have some trains running around over here and some more warehouses and many other cool things to see. That's kind of cool. They have a background there where they have the blue sky with some industries. Although it looks like that one's kind of falling off, but so they might need to touch that up a bit, but this place over here looks pretty cool. It seems that these trains over here seem to be idling. I guess they're just waiting in the yard for some instructions, or maybe they're waiting for stuff to happen. Check that out, they have power units in the middle of this green train over here. The ECL train, or East Coast Line, more East Coast Line stuff. I'm not sure if that's realistic or just generic, but either way it's interesting. Now here's a Penn Central train over there, and that logo, that's an interesting logo. Yeah, Penn Central, they used to run the Northeast Corridor from between Philadelphia and New York, obviously up until Amtrak took over in the 70s. Here comes another train going by Ruggles Station. So that has an engine train line. That's pretty cool. Immediately after, here comes another train.
What happened Has he been back to them?
So this one's slowing down for some odd reason. Now it has to come to a stop. Well, an almost stop. Well, that is a pink hopper car. And a pink box car.
Yeah, that one there being in.
You don't see that every day. Pink cars. There's a regular caboose at the end.
Whatever you like. Wings and robots.
There's those weird looking cars again.
What are those things?
I don't know. Some say that they're wings.
Wings?
Yeah.
For what?
A plane.
Oh, they're weird. I'm gonna have to ask the guy who's driving that one.
Yeah. Hey, look, it's Thomas. I just noticed. We might have to get a better picture of him later.
Me too.
This train's up there and down here as well. Here comes this one I saw earlier.
Thank you. You noticed everything seems to be very smooth. Yeah, it's very, very nice. Yeah. I'm gonna have to follow your headset through this. 1, 2. I'm thinking that's 343. The little tab is gone.
This train's just rolled out onto the main line. Here comes another train racing it.
Wow, is that cool? Wow, look at that. All the construction equipment. Caterpillar. Wow, is that cool?
Look at those trucks. Southern Pacific. Meanwhile, this train's rolling out onto the line. And there's Big Boy. Actually, no, that's the Challenger.
Wow, look at that, huh?
Yeah, I'll wait for you.
Looks like this train's also eager to get onto the main line. We'll see what happens with the big train later. Here comes another train down here. So that is some scrap in the gondola cars. And a patriotic caboose.
Spanish Inquisition, waterboarding.
Looks like the Challenger is still waiting to get to the main line. There's another motor car all the way over there doing interesting things. There's a train. And of course stop. Yeah, I've noticed there seems to be some kind of shutdown throughout the whole entire layout, where it seems they brought all the trains to a stop, you know? So I'm not entirely so I'm not sure there's some kind of power outage or derailment or whatever. But I guess we'll see what happens.
See? Lucky's Market, Sue,
Yeah.
Sue Me.
Yeah, tell them about the Chinatown.
Here's attorney's restaurant.
Yep.
Is that cool?
Yeah. There's a Challenger.
That's a big train.
Oh, look at that.
So the big one. Here, look.
There was a one of those observation cars.
Oh, cool. Next time you bring me.
And over here, it looks like they have an Amtrak maintenance train. Kind of weird how it's Amtrak and yet everything is painted in orange. I guess they...
Is it an Amtrak repair train?
Yeah, I guess they have it painted orange as it's some kind of like, you know, maintenance train. Because you would think that the Amtrak train was painted in the famous red, white, and blue that's been known for well, all of Amtrak's existence.
Little chain on there holding their wheels, holding it down.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Isn't that cool? Get a close up on there.
Yeah. I quite like the attention to detail on most of these trains that they have here today.
Roundabout here.
Over here, it looks like they have some narrow gauge stuff over here. There's Rio Grande, and there's another steam engine with some Pullman coaches. So, looks like over here they've gone for a 1950s theme. Well, I say 1950s, probably even earlier, maybe 1900s or something like that. I'm not entirely sure. If any of you guys know about these old-fashioned, you know, narrow gauge trains, then let me know, because I'm a bit of a foreigner when it comes to, you know, trains of the early days, unless it's a really famous train. Check this place out. Looks like Thomas is parked over here next to Gordon, but it looks like this is a special edition Thomas because it looks more like a metallic paint job with some banners and stuff, so it must be like a special edition of Thomas that I never even know of. But it looks like he's sitting here talking to Gordon. You trains are slow, express is fastest and best. Over here they have some future events, so if any of you guys watching this want to go see the Hingham train show, then well, there's the upcoming events they have here all the way up until 2020. They don't do events very often, so just make sure that, you know, one of these times is convenient for you if you ever plan on coming to this place yourself. I've noticed over here that they have the tracks go into like a wall, and then there's a massive cut thing. I am going to be here for a while, so again, I guess we'll see what happens as the show progresses. There's that cat train that we saw earlier, although that's you know, we've already seen that earlier, and I believe there's some stuff going on over here. Let's see what's going on. Also, in today's show, not only do they have the you know, they have the big layout, but they also have a little end scale layout, which is interesting. Although it seems there's nothing happening on this layout today. However, there's this.
Are you supposed to do that?
Yeah.
How does that work?
Magic, I guess.
There's a little motor in there? Whoa. Wow, that is cool. You see a power station over here? You're never going up to the power station?
Oh yeah, this is pretty cool.
Huh? Is that cool?
Yeah.
I think they got one in Arizona like that. All the deers are going up to the power. Create the heat, make the steam. They're all focused on the top.
So yeah, so as you can see here they have this end scale layout, although it seems to be inactive as of right now. So maybe they'll run some trains on this layout later, but I guess we'll have to see. There is, however, a Bud Metroliner car, but we've seen enough of those today, I think. Over here they also have some stuff for sale, so if you wanna buy some model trains for yourself, you can come over here and buy some stuff for a cheap or expensive price. It seems this box car over here only costs about $5, which is kind of interesting. And they've also got a bunch of locomotives and other things. Seems most of the stuff is Lionel stuff as well.
Oh, this is a gang car.
The regular transport. Think about that. Because that might become decorating your road.
Yeah.
Those pictures of frames.
That's pretty cool. Not only do they have trains, but they also have some tracks. So if you want to kickstart your model railroad collection, then you can also get some track for your trains as well. Not just for Lionel, but many other things as well. So here we have some calendars. 85 for $1. They have also the latest years as well. They have 2015, 14, 13, 12. Although, I wonder if they have a 2018 calendar, even though 2018 is already 3 months in, or 2 months in.
These are all the old ones. You get 5 for $1. You want to get some?
Maybe. Here we go, 2018 calendar. They have it literally right over here. I quite like the font that they use, how they modernized it.
You want to get that one?
Yeah, it's 2018 calendar for $5. Yeah, I think we should get this one.
River Series.
Over here we have some pretty expensive coaches for sale. These are by Rapido Trains Incorporated.
It looks silly because you have New Milford on the back.
Okay, that's right. Yeah, right.
But that's right.
Yeah, there's some pretty nice coaches over here, but
cars. New York
The
Central.
Central had
They're all powered?
the same names as some of their cars.
Same river.
Yeah, right.
Connecticut River. And
There's one open there that lit up on the track.
Oh, there we are.
New York Central.
so it seems these coaches also have interior lighting, which is quite cool.
So it was much cheaper.
So if you have some money to spend, if you want yourself some Pullman coaches, then
and the other
I
problem
would recommend these.
he was a tenant at Grand Central.
Another Central locomotive thing.
New York Central.
Over here we have some pretty cool stuff. We have some Amtrak commuter coaches. Although I don't think that Amtrak ever had coaches like this. But correct me if I'm wrong, and over there we have an F40. There seems to be multiple of these, so you can get these as well for the amazing price of $250 US. Over here we have what they call True Track. This is a starter set. I'm not sure if this is a new brand or something, but I guess they have little starter sets, so if you want to kickstart your model railroad collection, then you can get one of these for yourself as well with some track. Not sure if it comes with any trains. I guess those are only sold separately. Yeah, I think those are push-pull coaches. Yeah, it seems the Amtrak might have owned some at one point, but
F40.
yeah, that's an F40 right there. Yeah. Well, I think those coaches would look better if they were in Caltrain or Metro or something realistic. Speaking of Metro, we have Metro F40 over here, which is quite cool. Yeah, Metro currently the railroad with the highest amount of F40s on their roster, and I think they still have some F40s on Metro these days, which is quite cool. So even though Amtrak has gotten rid of most of its F40s, all the other commuter railroads, or most of the other commuter railroads here in America, are using these and keeping them nice and new. And over here we have an Acela Express set, which comes with the Acela and some track. I actually received one of these myself. I'm not sure, but yeah, I actually received one of these for myself as a birthday present way a long time ago. I think this is for a very high price indeed. That's quite cool. And then you can get this one here.
Ours is not.
Yeah, seems that this one is DCC on board, but we actually have one of these, but it isn't DCC. And this is still the one that we have hasn't been on the rails in quite a few years. We might change that though, but who knows? Over here you got a track pack and a few Thomas and Friends sets. And you've got Emily's passenger set, and of course Thomas with Annie and Clarabelle. Yeah.
$135.
Although one thing with these model railroad sets is that they are not cheap, so make sure that you have some money to spend on these things. And over here we have an Amtrak, I'm not sure what that is. It's a Amtrak something high-speed turbo thingy-majiggy train.
Is that a turbo?
No, that's not actually a turbo train. It's something else. I actually have no idea.
BBD, I don't know what that is.
have to do some research on this train here. Over here, once again, we have the good old F40 up for sale. Quite cool indeed. And yeah, I think people or companies are still making the F40 in HO scale and Amtrak and various other railroads. However, I would like one in MBTA. I actually have one of these in MBTA, although it's one of the cheaper ones they can get, I think. We have a bunch of flatbeds for sale. So if you want to build a train with a bunch of flatbeds and stuff, then here's a bunch of them that you can buy. That's quite cool.
What scale is that?
HO, of course. These are by Atlas Incorporated.
These are cool, aren't they?
Yeah. And there's the loads they can put onto your flat cars if you so choose to get some. I think these are like crates or something.
Yeah.
Look at that. That's just came out on the rails. I'll have to get a full movie of that later. Over here we have some more toys. Here's a plane. Maybe.
No.
There's some more Bachman track. Oh, that's the ones with the plastic ballast that's wrapped around it. And a caboose. And a bunch of other things. It seems over here they have a bunch of used stuff. And they have some passenger kits.
The lighting kit.
Stuff, yeah. Over here in a separate room we have even more things for sale, such as a bunch of other cars and stuff. And some lamps, which is pretty cool.
Stainless steel commuter coach.
So this seems to be one of those coaches that you build yourself. It's like one of those kit coaches. And there's no paint on it either, so interesting. And it seems they have a bunch of these for $20 each. Maybe we should get one.
There's different prices on them.
Should we get one?
No.
Oh, but I want to get a coach car.
For what?
To build and
I
stuff.
don't play with them anymore.
Well, we should. Now here's more of these commuter coaches, although this one is painted in Rock Island, so that's definitely a fictional paint scheme, because it's kind of hard to imagine these types of coaches in that type of paint job, unless maybe some kind of, you know, like some kind of heritage paint job, or like I said earlier, something completely fiction. Here we go, some other cool things. Here we have an F40 once again. We've seen a bunch of those today. We have some Amtrak box cars. We have the American Freedom Train over there, although just the locomotive.
Wow, look at that, huh?
Yeah, that's pretty cool. We also have some Amfleet One coach cars. Here we have a cafe car with a interesting logo on there.
Looks like it's brand new.
Ooh, we also have an AEM7 over here as well. That's pretty cool. In fact, I think we can actually bring this up.
Is that Amtrak?
Yeah, so look at that, an AEM7 or a toaster engine, depending on whatever you want to call it. That's quite cool. We also have an Amtrak sleeper car, which is used on the Silver Star or a few other Amtrak trains that have these types of coaches. Another F40 over here as well. And more Amfleet coaches over there as well. I think those ones over there are the regular ones with the big business class coaches.
Yeah.
That's quite cool. It seems that most of these Amfleet coaches are in phase 4. So I guess if you have enough money to start an Amtrak regional collection, you can do it with the AM7 and a few Amfleet coaches.
You got this and get the coaches, right?
Yes. Over here we have some other, a few other trains for sale, although it seems that some of the ones over here have seen better days, which is this locomotive over here. Well, I'd say Rock Island locomotive, although it's missing a truck. Yeah, so this locomotive over here has seen better days. And same can be said about pretty much everything else in this box, in that box. We also have some plastic track, which I believe might be used for some kind of foreign toy train or whatever. It only just barely works. And yeah, the other things, we also have some more motor car thingies. They've also got one of these where they have the shell already taken off of the chassis, which, to be honest, I think it's really not that necessary. Check these out. Here's some massive model toy trains over here. I believe these are G scale. And of course, G scale track. Yeah, that's cool. There's even a trolley car. There's a man in there as well. Over here we have some little mini toy trains over here, which don't really do anything at all. Over here we have a locomotive, which is a dummy. But at the same time, it has couplings on there. Well, actually, maybe these little trains do things, but I'm not entirely sure. Over here we have an observation car, which is pretty cool in Rio Grande. And over here we have a couple of what looks like Superliner coaches painted in Rio Grande. That is definitely fictional. In fact, I'm going to try to build a little train over here. Oh, there's also track over here as well, so this does goes on track, although since it's laying sideways, you know, that they've fallen over. There we go, I have built a mini train, which is now laying sideways. Over here we have very different types of trains. It seems that some over here in mint. Over here we have a big boy, which is pretty heavy in a way. Well, it's not that heavy, but well, it's basically just a massive piece of metal that has been molded into cast. That's been painted. Well, this one's been molded into a big boy over here. Yeah, it's one of those.
Franklin, you're hanging on the wall.
Yeah. We also have the Mallard.
Wow. So they got a couple of
Yeah, first time today we've seen a non-American train.
streamliners.
There's some streamliners and some other things. Wow, look at this. This is something I don't see every day. Really?
What is that one?
No idea. Over here we have some line stuff. Man, this is huge. Look at that door even open. That's quite cool. These are one of those tin trains things that they used to make back in the 1950s. In fact, these were actually some of the world's first toy trains that could get in America, I believe. Over here you have some more coaches and more of those Superliner coaches, once again in fictional paint schemes that they probably never carried. These seem to be West Palm Beach, so I believe these are like, you know, or this might be like some kind of Miami commuter rail coaches, although, you know, those are proper things that they actually use in the real world. Over here you have a Markland catalog from 1991 to 92, and that only cost $5. And I tried to get Daddy to buy one, but seems that it doesn't like the fact that it comes from the 90s, even though it still looks pretty cool. And it shows a bunch of model German trains.
Grandma's house.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
It's a model. $25.
Maybe we should get one. Looks like this stuff you can use it and make it into a
Cable car.
a cable car. Yeah, one of those.
There you go.
Sometime later we're back here in Railroad Station. Here comes the train. Here's a better look at the Amtrak Mania's train. That's one of those locomotives, which is completely orange with an Amtrak logo on the side. Pretty interesting. It seems there's not as many trains out on the track as there was earlier. We've actually went to lunch and now we just came back here to the train show. However, there is a train coming along. Yeah, there's a little friend from earlier. It seems that now this 1970s Amtrak train is now pulling into the siding, which is kind of unfortunate. Maybe they were running it while we were at lunch, but
That's not an F40, is it?
well, that's an SDP-40F.
That's the one you're talking about, huh?
Yeah.
This the first one's an F40?
Yep. On the upside, we can't get a closer look at the locomotive, although it's about to crash into the thing. Whoops. Looks like there's some trouble on the tracks. Looks like the...
Who's parking it? That's the
You guys can vote on it, okay?
Oh, now he's reversing. Do it right. Oh well, at least now we can get a closer look at it, which is
there a guy in there?
I think there's a guy in there.
No, I don't see any guy.
Nope. Oh, well, maybe it's a ghost.
See, we got wiper blades on. You see them? George Bush, 41. 41st president. See the wiper blades?
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Also, it looks like they moved up the Southern Pacific train over here, which looks quite nice. We've got an interesting amount of coaches. Got a couple of baggage cars.
Well, that's the same color as
The daylight.
the daylight, huh?
Yeah. This is quite cool. We have a dome car at the end here. Two, actually. And the good old observation car. Quite like to see these come back, maybe in the future. Oh, there's that steam engine that was running earlier. Really, now that's parked in the siding, but there's all the coaches that it pulled when it was on the rails, and now they parked this train as well. I think so, I'm not sure. It seems that this Metroliner train is now currently running as there are sounds coming from the train.
I want to get a picture of that.
Hey look, there's the circus train. They finally brought back that on the track again. Let's hope that the circus train comes on the rails and we can see it go by Ruggles in its full glory. But in the meantime, we can take a look at all the other things. So it seems that this railroad was slightly, or this layout was slightly inactive while me and Daddy went to lunch. However, it feels like now that most of the trains are now coming out again to ride around and stuff. So we'll have to see what happens as time progresses along. But in the meantime, it seems like all the trains from earlier now currently parked. I guess we'll see what happens next. This is pretty cool. We have a couple of tunnels over here, and this is one of the lines, and that's the other line where the trains go. I think this is quite cool. And there's the line when it goes underneath the ground once again to Ruggles. And there's the Providence and Worcester train that we saw earlier, well, slightly earlier. It seems now they have parked this one now on the siding, but at least now we can get, a closer look at it. There's the hopper cars that it was pulling. But anyways, here comes the longest train in all of the layout. It's the circus train. Look at how long the circus train is. It goes all the way around the place and all the way over here. Yeah, the circus train, it's been a famous part of the Hingham train show for so many years, and several years later, it's still going strong.
Whose train is it? That's
As these lines.
that's
I've seen that quite a few times today. Oops, looks like more trouble on the tracks. It seems that this train here is eager to get out of the yard, but it's being held up by that train over there, which is still waiting to get out onto the main line. That's a bang. Yeah, it seems that this train here is eager to get onto the main line, but I guess it was waiting for the circus train to go by. I guess we'll see what happens in the next few minutes. At least now all the trains are starting to come back on the line again. This is a Boston and Maine train. Hope to see this out on the tracks later today. Oh. And there's a bit of an accident as well. Yep, there is some trouble on the tracks today. The circus train has been stopped, and because there's been a little bit of a derailment, now this freight train here is going to have to wait a few minutes for the mess to be cleared up, or the derailment. So,
like 5 years.
hopefully this, the derailment gets cleaned up and we can get moving again. Oh, that one's still derailed. That could mean bad things.
In Duluth.
I don't know, maybe because the lead locomotive is Union Pacific as well. I guess Union Pacific are the people in charge of this massive circus train.
Oh.
Now the Boston and Maine train is backing up onto the siding, and that little steam train over there is still waiting to get onto the main line. And that derailed car on that circus train, hopefully somebody fixes it before it leads to something else happening. This freight train's moving again. I think we saw this earlier. I'm not entirely sure. I might get another movie of it just because. Although now this has to get through, and that steam train still has to wait. And same goes for that Boston and Maine train. But cool how it goes over this junction here. Otherwise it would run straight into that box car and that gondola car. And there's that pink hopper car again, and that pink box car. Although it seems now they've swapped them around. In fact, actually, I think this train is actually extended, or maybe they just put it in a different place or something. I'm not entirely sure, but looks cool nonetheless. There's a caboose car. Check that out. That's some attention to detail right there. And here is a nice long coal grain car train, and that's the train in question. There's some other signs on there, but interesting. And they're all being pulled by those locomotives there. I think those are grain or sand or something.
Oh.
Now this train wants to come out onto the line again. They've taken that entire steam train off the track, so hopefully this can now get through. Why am I off the rails? I want to be on the rails with all the other trains in this layout. Why must you take me off the tracks for all those newer thingy trains? That's the sound of the steam train talking. Oh, that caboose, that's pretty cool. I actually have quite a few of those myself. Not as well, actually no, a few of those in interesting detail, but those are interesting.
What's so interesting over here? You know what happened? Turn it off. That's pretty cool. What are they doing here?
This is a steel house. Yeah. This is where they make all the steel and stuff.
Look at the crane up here.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah. They've also got some special steel cars, a hopper car. There's some of those gondola cars. I'm not sure what those are called. In fact, this is actually the steel works, quite like the one seen in Journey Beyond Sodor. And of course there's the obligatory water bottle, completely realistic. And there's a few other things. That's falling down. And there's some more of those steel cars. And check those out as well, that's pretty cool. Look. What? Where?
What are they doing here? There's a crane.
I'm not sure. I think that's where they make all. Actually, that's where that's where they make all the ties and stuff.
It's a steel roll. Those are rollers that they make coil.
Oh yeah.
Maybe.
And that's the train with the interesting-looking load.
You know what those are? I finally found out.
Yeah.
Do you know what they are?
They're thingy-majiggies.
The wind generators. Those are the blades for the wind generators.
Oh yeah, that's right. Ooh, it has an end of train light on it. That's pretty cool as well.
You see that white mound over there?
Yeah.
You can't see it.
Well,
I'm gonna go look at it over there.
okay. Look at this. There's another Southern Pacific train. Yeah.